What if I told you that children ages 2 to 11 see more than 40,000 advertisements in a year from television alone? And what if I told you that those companies were spending around $17 billion every year creating those advertisements? When I was babysitting a few weeks ago, I was watching a TV show with the kids on Disney Channel, and I was shocked to count more than 10 advertisements for different random products or things within the short 30-minute time period. I was curious about the advertising market that focuses their sites on children and decided to look up some more information online. I learned that big companies target children's innocence and undeveloped mindsets in order to create brand loyalty and make more money. Which brings me to the idea that marketing directly at children needs to be controlled in a more substantial way. As students preparing to be parents in the future, it's our responsibility to shape the world that we want our children to grow up in. This is why I'm going to tell you why marketing directly at children is unethical, because it plays off the weaknesses of a child's innocence, causes problems that can last a lifetime, and other countries have already taken the first steps towards solving it. First, let's think about the obvious difference in maturity between an adult and a child. Which of the two do you think has a better concept as to what they're being shown is an advertisement? Studies show that children often can't decipher the difference between commercials and program content. They also share that even children of an older age group tend to fail to recognize products in shows as advertisements or contrived placement. How can we label something as ethical when the group it's being aimed at is unaware of the practice? Cynthia Barron, academic director of the digital media program at Northeastern University, argues, no matter how smart or sophisticated they may appear, kids are not skeptical. They often have difficulties distinguishing between reality and fiction, truth and consequences. Now, I know that the simple solution of, well, turn it off, may come to your mind, but how can one turn off advertisements when they're included on television, in school programs, on billboards, on the radio, in supermarkets? And that list is ongoing. Now that we've established the reason that advertisers target young children so easily, let's look at the long-term effects that these advertisements can have on the young age group. Now, I don't know about you, but I've heard, but Mom, I have to have it in stores many times, typically coming from the mouth of a child who has their eyes set on an item with their favorite TV character on it. So what has happened because of the simple use of a trademarked character? A sense of materialism has been instilled in the child as they feel that they need an item simply because they were essentially told that they did. This character trait is often seen in adults who buy the latest and greatest simply for the title or satisfaction of having whatever is popular or current. These characters are often used on grocery items by bigger companies to create that brand loyalty with the child simply from the licensing of whoever is on the front of the package. Really, think about it. As a kid, would you want the fun snacks with the Walmart logo on it, or the one with Harry Potter on it, where the fruit snacks were shaped like magic wands and invisible cloaks? Studies from University of Madison, Wisconsin show that children as young as ages 3 to 5 years old can already recognize brands like McDonald's, My Little Pony, Disney, and Pepsi. When someone has that association with a brand, they're able to form a relationship, healthy or not. This is evident in the fact that a major part of marketing at children exploits their eating habits, and when studied further, must be playing a major role in child obesity rates rising. So while small advertisements may seem like a slight inconvenience, with more research we learn that they can have a longer lasting effect than most even think. With such large companies are causing a majority of the advertisements, it can be daunting to stand up against them to make a change. However, we won't be the first country to take strides towards a safer environment for children. Fortunately for us, other countries have already taken action against the type of marketing that benefits from taking advantage of those too young to comprehend. For example, in Australia, there are regulations preventing food marketing targeted at children. The Self-Regulatory Code regulates the use of promotion, popular characters, and unsuitable material during time periods dedicated for children's television programs. While they can still legally market when children may be watching events like in sporting games with their parents, it's still a huge step in the right direction. Other countries that have similar laws include Canada, Chile, France, Ireland, Mexico, Norway, Taiwan, and the United Kingdom. Luckily, there are several groups in the United States that have begun the fight here in America. The Campaign for Commercial-Free Childhood advocates for exactly what their name suggests: commercial-free living for children. The American Psychological Association and the World Health Organization have also taken a stand in favor of prohibiting advertisements at children altogether. So as protectors of the younger generation, we should be working towards making heavily regulating marketing at children, as it targets their innocence, causes lifelong problems, and has already been tackled by other countries. All this information can be surprising, especially learning about how much money is spent on targeting those who are so impressionable. It's even kind of scary to think that these big companies can have that much of an influence on the minds of children. Luckily, we know what needs to happen in order to start solving the problem. Let's start taking the necessary steps in regulating these advertisements before we end up with another generation of children who need things that they don't really need.